Okay? This is the Middle East. This is where Geraldo was when he's giving up the coordinates. This is our studio, 10th Avenue right here. That's our studio right there. So if you see Peter Arnett, he'd probably be over here with a comb over. Now, I'm sick of saying this. People have to eat these treats. Look how good they look today. I'm the only one that ever eats them. It's ridiculous. I'm diabetic. He's diabetic. He can't eat. Patrice. I didn't mean to start on a bad note, but he is, you know. All right, now, Peter Arnett got fired. You see this, okay? First of all, what does National Geographic have to do with the war that they would hire somebody and then fire them in the first place? Who reads the war and reads stupid National Geographic? Nobody. But, do you think he should have been fired?
Well, what I want to know is why you started off the show like Alibaba on that carpet there.
I don't know, but why did you start off this segment like Ali Bomber?
I know. I set you up. See what a team player?
That neither one of them, yeah, they should have been fired because they're working for a company. But they can say anything they want.
Right.
And they can do anything they want. Geraldo was showing plan, but didn't the government give away all the, we're going to come hunt you down in 48 hours? They were giving all the information. They didn't change it. It wasn't a sneak attack. He just did something stupid. He got fired.
Well, the same thing with stupid Peter Arnett. This guy, everybody knows he was anti-American during CNN war. Then 3 years ago, he made some other charges. It's not like, who? Peter Arnett, the great patriot.
I watched his coverage during the war, and every time he was on, he would have some negative thing. Like one night he was talking about how they'll never have democracy in Iraq. He goes, you know, Iraq is not America. There's millions of different little individual hate groups, and they don't get along. And I'm thinking, if that's not America, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? Bunch of different people that hate each other, slapping a few Starbucks, you won't even know you left.
So should he got fired?
Yeah, definitely.
And they act like it's a big surprise that Arnett gets fired. That guy blows more jobs than I blow black guys. Except I have more dignity afterwards.
Thank you.
It's true.
She said because she has more dignity afterwards. Remember that.
All right, hold on.
Dignity.
First of all, this is Tough Crowd, not BET.
BET would have got a standing ovation. Oh no, the guys would have stood, the girls would have.
Well, because I think it's the left-wing media. It's just, they're not anti-war, they're anti-Bush, obviously, so they're going to show everything that's negative that this country is doing over there just to make Bush look bad.
Yes, but no, don't get in over your head. What you're saying is right, but you're almost in over your head, stupid.
Yeah,
I know.
Listen, wait. He started with left wing like he knew something.
No.
The left wing. You don't even know what a left wing is.
First of all,
that's just something on the turkey, stupid.
First of all, I can't take my mind off the cookies. I started off and I stopped at the good point, all right?
You know me or him?
Him.
Geraldo can say anything he wants.
Yeah.
He works for a private company, so he says what he wants, and he gets fired. So what is the deal?
But even for Geraldo, how low is this? To get kicked out of a war zone. Like, how big of a butthead do you have to be that they go, hey, suicide bombers, gas, but you are a crime against humanity.
I think they just want the dudes out anyway.
Well, you know what?
They just want the reporters out anyway.
But I think he wants to subconsciously wanted to get booted out with
Well, they don't want him to go into a chemical warehouse and open the door and there's nothing in it. Hey, listen,
give him a chance to remember 15 years ago when that thing happened.
Well, how many things have Geraldo done since then?
Maybe 7 TV shows.
The trouble is, these reporters go over there and they embed these guys with the troops, and they start thinking they're actually in the military. Like, I saw Ted Koppel wearing a Marine uniform. It was unbelievable. And you go like, we now leave you with some disturbing images. And they cut to Ted Koppel in a Marine uniform.
They want gone. It's just they want them out. They just want all the reporters out there.
Well, they should all be out there. What war has been reported on a daily basis on TV? None. It's, you know.
Maybe the last 6?
You know, no, not on a daily basis.
Other than that.
No.
Yeah,
No, but look, but the whole thing is, they want him out. Maybe they want him out, but don't you think that it's like this whole thing where the media is actually now trying to be unbiased, and they never are. We all know Fox News is pro-war and CNN is Al Jazeera West. Everyone has their side. Right. But I'm saying, how could you not be biased? Who ever heard of anybody who doesn't have bias based on their life experience or any network? Yeah, it's a ridiculous goal.
And you know what?
That's not true. I started
grown men.
What's that?
Don't berate grown men. To fire them. What are we discussing there? Career. Fire. So what?
But you don't hire Geraldo if you want journalistic integrity, okay? Every time he collects a paycheck, he's raping Fox like they were a drunk girl at a Puerto Rican Day parade.
Good evening, friends. Listen. I like to
Sorry, gorilla in the mix.
She just called you.
Now, here's what I'm saying to you.
She called you gorillas in the mist. I don't want to say anything to start any trouble.
Oh, you troublemaking Jew bastard.
Yeah.
You people are always stirring something
I know,
up.
but at least we wear gold, not silver.
Hey, this is tin.
You look like Al Sharpton in denial.
All right, enough.
Wear another earring, we'll forget you're 60.
Jesus Christ.
You are not stealing my nose! Get away from me, fat black man! Patrice is jealous because I can leave.
Gorillas in the mist. That's done.
He is fat with tits that hang.
That was very funny.
Thanks, Jew.
But only point.
No point to me. Like now, after this, I have to get back to the subject, so I look like the cornball. It's like, but seriously, guys, back to the issue. Anyway, the point is, no, I know you're trying, but look, they're psychotic, you know that. Comedians, nobody cares. We only care about ourselves. Does everyone realize that?
We touched on a few points, though.
Yeah, we did.
We touched on a few, but then when I was a trainer, I better get back on track. I better get on track because I got to deal with people too. I have people to answer
I'm
to.
tired of
You
the
ever
white
think of that?
meetings on the show. That's why I'm getting white meetings every
They've been
5
giving a
minutes.
lot of white meetings on the show,
Yeah.
as he deserves. Tell them what the white meeting is.
White meetings and white people tell you to be yourself, but they're really telling you don't be yourself. But they say everybody else is not. It's not you. It's not what you. It's just. It's white meetings. It's like saying something.
but
You got to figure it out. I don't know what the hell it is.
You need them.
But say how they talk to you. Well, it's like, hello, Patrice.
Well, there's worse white meetings than that.
I know.
Like the one after Platypus Man was canceled.
We're talking to a guy from Bensonhurst, too. He knows I'm bad white man.
I know.
Listen, I got to wrap it up, so everyone shut up. Let me wrap it to say, how come every third segment I have to go, shut up? That's not dignified for a TV host.
Right.
Bastards. All right, here's what I want to talk about. This is serious, because a lot of reporters are getting injured. Yes, serious things are happening over there. People are getting hurt. Jennifer Eccleston, I was watching this the other day. Roll this clip for a second. Let me just say something that's happening.
4,000 are flocking to Iraq seeking martyrdom against U.S. and coalition forces in Iraq. These men are from Algeria,
stop for a second.
Egypt.
Now, do you see the way she was doing the whole report down like this?
See the girl from
Like
Syria
that.
working again.
She's just like this. Looking up like, I shouldn't be saying this, but the Iraqi report. Now, let's cut back to it for one more second.
Arabia, Tunisia, and also Libya.
See? Baby's got the sniffles.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Saddam, if you touch one hair on her head, we're going to fly there myself and bust you right in the eye. We'll be right back after this message. I'll tell you, we're gonna talk about the second subject. First, we have to go back and review what happened with Voice. He watched Dumb Norton on the show, who's become very prepared because he's like afraid his career's falling apart. So now Voice, Norton totally like memorized everything. So you're like, wait, even Norton can be smart. Maybe I can say smart things too. He memorized his horrible, cliche 15-year-old left-wing speech that his daughters had to help him with. And then he stood there, and the minute we threw him off the track, he's like, wait, that's not the way the order goes.
The word left wing threw him right off. When he said that, he was so had to be smart after that, it scared him to death.
Exactly. I guess you would have been comfortable if I would have said chicken wing. First of all, nothing. Oh, Jesus. Nothing.
Okay, we're going to change the subject.
All right.
Bringing down the house. This is, look at this footage first.
What's on your mind, player?
What's with you? You been drinking some of that haterade?
What's up, Flavor? Where you from?
From the hood and misunderstood.
Okay.
Y'all discuss this.
Now, let me ask you this. At what point does the movies where the goofy white person is redeemed by the black person, at what point do those become racist against us?
That's white guilt, man.
That's right. That's
When black people got nothing to do with that, that's white people's guilt about racism, so they gonna let themselves look. I think it makes me sick when they make old white dudes try to be cool. Makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah, but you know what? No one's forcing these guys to take these roles. I mean, he still made $10 million off this movie, so You know, look at, hey, we're here for 500, so look at the difference, you know?
No one's forcing you to do that awful game show you did last year that bombed.
Stupid.
He's only getting 500.
Who, Seymour?
So what is it? Is it race? You know, well, it's a Disney movie, and Disney has always been a racist company. I mean, Jesus. Well, look at it. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. All 7 dwarfs are white. How hard is it to find a black dwarf? You can't get Gary Coleman on the phone? Is that tricky?
Holy
it's a racist company.
But here's the point.
He blew his chance to work with Disney for that horse.
That's a big company.
I know.
That was a sweeping one.
Patrice, I realize you're black, but this isn't a movie theater. You don't have to talk.
Come on, that was a good one. Say something. Come on, folks. Wait, Lisa, say something.
I am boycotting this movie, not because of the stereotypes in it, which are all true. I am boycotting it because I thought it was going to be about an interracial love story.
Right.
And it ends up she gets the nerdy Jew at the end. She doesn't get the good white guy. She gets the nerdy Jew. Sure, a big black bitch and a nerdy Jew.
But why?
If the sex doesn't kill him, his mother will.
Why is it?
David Bowie has a point.
Hold on.
Thank you, LL Cool Whip.
Listen. Once again, when I bring this back on topic, I want to call me a cornball. Go ahead,
Let Jack LaLanne, the lady ears, talk.
What was that?
I hate to laugh at him, but it was funny.
What did you say?
Jack LaLanne with that body shirt.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Rich. You know, I talked to the Star Search people. You're still in the running. Let's get back to the topic.
Thank you.
Because Patrice is going to want to know about this.
All right.
This is the racial stereotypes that's what, that's comedy. You know, there's no comedy without some racial stereotypes, but it's only when black and white gets involved that people complain about it.
Right.
But you take the show Will and Grace, right? Now that is gay stereotype. The guy that plays the friend, that guy is gayer than sperm-flavored whitening strips. And you know what I mean? I mean, he's an over-the-top, and any gay person should be offended by that, but I don't hear Voss complaining.
Yeah, I don't know.
Voss is
I'm not really gay, I'm just happy.
It's like, but you know, no matter what, this is the thing I'm sad about is that people are questioning Queen Latifah. But every time the white people have this thing about black people, we have to answer to other black people that we don't even know. He can look like a complete jackass, and he's just Steve Martin doing his little white thing. Right. But Queen Latifah is, she did her Aunt Jemima.
Don't act like that. That was a white voice outrage about her Aunt Jemima. Talk about your own people. They're the ones who get mad at her. But you made that a white voice right then, stupid. And I didn't fall for it. Shut up.
Shut up. I don't know it, but there's some reason it's white person's fault. It's got to be.
Every time.
Right.
That's how it is. Now, are there any people, let me ask, God forbid I get back into this, but are there any people that are off limits to make fun of? Any type of groups like Arabs, or I don't know, somebody
Jews and gays are not can't be messed with too much.
No, and black people get messed with by white people.
I know.
As they shouldn't.
Oh.
In 10 years, Arabs are going to be the people who can talk about anything, and you can't.
Where's that going to be?
I already got in trouble.
One of you boys
You
over.
got in trouble?
Yeah, I did. I went on a radio show, right? I did this joke. I said, how do you like flying since September 11th? So I go, truthfully, I don't like it. If the two things that make me nervous is the disgraceful practice of racial profiling and guys wearing turbans on my aircraft. And, which I thought was funny, right?
Yeah.
And I got Indian people, wrote in on my email, you little punk you're dead. We heard you on that show, you're dead, you little punk. And look, you have to respect, you gotta respect, what was that?
You just didn't hear my Arab.
And another thing, tell Patricia, shut the hell up. Can I finish this?
Go ahead, finish. Make it snappy. This time was
all right,
over 5 minutes.
I felt bad because, you have to respect people who have strong religious beliefs.
Sure.
If you don't, they'll kill you a lot of the time. But my point was, why do you have to show your religious beliefs every second? You know what I mean? I'm Christian. I don't come bouncing onto the plane spiked to a cross because it's rude. It's rude. They're going to tell you to check the cross.
Think about that. What's your problem with me?
Why is it keep
I'm the host, you son of a bitch. I'm like a pro. We'll be right back into this. State TV. Let's start with Rich Jeni.
I would say to the Iraqi people, when you see Americans protest against the war, don't be confused. Even if there's 1 million people protesting, because the fact that 1 million people believe something in America doesn't say anything. In America, we have 1 million people who believe that if you put cream on your thighs, they'll get smaller. That's the Iraqi news. Stay tuned for Letterman. He's got stupid camel tricks.
All right, Lisa Lampanelli.
People of the Arab world, the United States does not want to destroy Iraq. We want to make it better. That way you people will stop moving to America. No offense, we love having you here with all your unconditional hatred of us and all. It's just that with you driving our cabs and pumping our gas, there aren't enough menial jobs left for our darkies to do. Who, by the way, hate us too.
Patrice O'Neill.
We are here live at the 5-year anniversary of Walt Disney Baghdad. President Al Sharpton is in attendance to enjoy today's festivities. Disney unveils his new character Benny and his sidekick Willie the Stick that he keeps strapped to his chest. And nothing. Don't forget tonight at 1:25 a.m. in the Sands Hotel basement, Lisa Lampanelli performs her one-woman show. Hope to see you there. Good night.
All right, Rich Boss.
As an American reporter, I am sure you people think I have my own personal agenda, but I am not a left-wing liberal lunatic. I am your worst nightmare, a right-wing Jew. I am pro-American and pro-Israel. So here's my piece of advice. Run. Don't look back. Get out of town because we are going to bomb the out of you. And this weekend I will be at Stanford's and Sons Comedy Club in Kansas City.
Let me just tell you one thing. My favorite part of that was when he cursed and still the audience was like, no. You stupid shut up. I have to do mine. Oh, I'm going to bomb, I can tell. Here are some words of advice for the people when we take over, when we democratize you. 1, these are the things you have to know. If you order the large meat lovers pizza from Little Caesars, they throw in the crazy bread free. 2, always supersize. And 3, the big question we're facing philosophically in this country is, why does Simon have to be so mean? So keep that in mind. You loved it, didn't you, boys? All right. We now return to your regular programming. Good night.
Well, now